Long ago, in a mansion shrouded in mist and hidden from the world, a wealthy family played a game every night at midnight. But this was no ordinary game. At the stroke of 12, they invited spirits to join them, using cards to summon twisted visions of fate. One night, the game went horribly wrong, leaving the mansion forever cursed. To this day, the mansion sits silent until midnight. At that hour, it awakens, calling anyone inside to play the game. But this is no ordinary game of cards. Each card dealt reveals a vision, a glimpse into a fate that the player must try to escape. Yet for those who fail, their souls are claimed, pulled forever into the spirit world. One fateful night, a group of friends, seeking adventure, entered the mansion. They laughed at the warnings and dared each other to stay until midnight. But as the clock struck 12, their laughter died, and an invisible force urged them to gather around an old dusty table where a deck of cards waited. One of the friends picked up the first card, his hands shaking as he turned it over. On the card, a vision appeared, a flickering, ghastly image of himself trapped in a burning room. In horror, he realized this was no ordinary card. It was a vision of his fate if he failed to escape. Before he could react, the room around him began to shift. Suddenly, he found himself alone in a room filled with flames. Smoke choked his lungs, and heat licked at his skin as he desperately tried to find a way out. He banged on the door, screaming for his friends, but his voice was swallowed by the fire. The walls seemed to close in, as if the mansion itself was sealing his fate. Back at the table, his friends watched in horror as another card revealed itself, this time showing a vision of a woman drowning. She gasped as the image took hold, and before she knew it, she was in a dark, cold lake, the icy water pulling her down as invisible hands gripped her ankles. She fought against the cold grip of the water, struggling to breathe as she was pulled deeper into the darkness. She could see ghostly hands holding her down, pale and lifeless. Every time she clawed toward the surface, the water became heavier, pressing her down as if the lake itself wanted her soul. One by one, each friend was drawn into a vision of their fate, an endless fall from a high tower, a maze of mirrors with no exit, the whispers of the dead calling them deeper. Each one tried to escape, but the mansion twisted around them, closing off every way out. The game had trapped them, binding them to play until the end. As dawn approached, the friends were nowhere to be found. The mansion had claimed them, their faces forever bound to the cards they'd drawn. Now each midnight, new players are called to the table, and the game begins again. For those who enter, there is only one rule: survive, or be bound to the game forever. So if you ever find yourself near that mansion as midnight approaches, remember the warning. For once you sit at that table, there's no turning back. Will you draw a card and face your fate, or will you walk away if you can?